it's for real.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boys.
That's right, it's Hollywood Hambone back with another movie review. And this one I am super excited about because this movie right here is what I like to see. And guess what? My Twitter's been on fire from all these people that I didn't even know that liked it. The weird kind of stuff that I kind of like sometimes out there commenting on how much they like this movie Malignant that just came out. This movie right here is one of those movies. It's by James Wan, by the way, which is like, thank you, James. But I just want to say, like, this movie is one of those movies that, like, sometimes I'm all alone, being in that like likable sphere, right? Like where people watch something like this and they actually really and truthfully like and enjoy the actual like movie and stuff. And these is one of those things that are just as weird for me. Is like, I loved it for all its weirdness. I loved it. Like all the setup and everything. And this is a horror movie. So if you're not a horror fan, this may not be your particular cup of tea. Let's say you're a horror fan, but you don't like the bloody horror. This may not be your also particular cup of tea. And this is a little weird. So if you don't like weird things, this may not be your particular cup of tea. But like I said before, there's been a lot of people on Twitter everywhere that I did not even know that would like some things like this, right? Like, give a shout out to my boy PJ Campbell. Like, I knew he would like this movie, for instance. But there's been others that's been out there hitting this thing out the park, like, boom, oh, I love this movie. Like, and I'm like, what? Where you guys been at when I've been sitting all alone watching some of these weird ass movies? And you guys gonna come in here and be like, you love this movie. And I'm excited because that means maybe there's a bigger audience out there for stuff like this. Maybe that means that like that more people like some of these things that I thought that sometimes I'd be like by myself, having to watch in a room by myself in the dark. Because that's the way I like to watch horror movies, baby. Because you know what I'm saying? I ain't scared of nothing. But before I get to the total breakdown of this movie, I would like you, if you already have watched this far, please like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let's get up there. Let's get above 700. And thank you guys for all the comments and stuff that you have already done and some of my prior videos, man. Thank you. Still just starting this out. This is like brand new. I've only been doing this for a couple months. And if you just want to get up with me, right there below Hollywood Hambone, that is my Twitter handle there that you can get up with me on if you need to for any reason. But yeah, man, like I just want to kind of break this movie down. This movie starts off with this one girl, and I shouldn't say girl, it's a grown woman. And basically she starts having these night terror kind of things. Where she's able to see these murders and stuff like that, and she don't understand like why she's able to do that or why she's able to see them and everything. Then she finds out that she used to have like this, you know, what do you want to call it? Like your invisible friend. You know what I'm saying? That like some kids may make up or believe, like a make-believe friend that she calls Gabriel and stuff like that. But it turns out like this Gabriel person pretty serious. You know what I'm saying? You follow the story. And at the very beginning, there is like a scene where it's Gabriel. He's trying to escape this mental institution and everything else. They tranquilize him, they hook him up to a thing. And the lady's like last words is like, we need to cut out the cancer and everything else. So like you kind of left like, what's up with this Gabriel person, right? And the way they make you feel is like it kind of looks normal. But then whenever you see it through a curtain, it's like, oh man, this thing looks weird, kind of grotesque, but you only see it through a curtain. So you can't get a real good view. So this lady, like I said, she's seeing these like nightmares and stuff like that, but it's actually people actually dying and stuff. And then actually people that related to the like mental institution and the hospital and everything else. So they're going through all this stuff and everything. And she finds out more and more of the story as the story goes along. I don't want to ruin everything for you guys. I want you guys to go out there and see this and kind of judge it on your own. I don't want to spoil this too heavy, just give you some bigger major points. But we find out that basically there's this weird kind of parasitic kid that could be born, right? Like where it maybe could have been like conjoined twins, but instead of something like that, it's something even more weird. So like the other person is just like almost like a parasite to the main host and stuff. So like, and that's where you get the weird like imagery whenever they're behind the curtain. You kind of get like you see the backside, and there's this thing that is actually growing on this like inside this woman. And whenever the one main lady talks about like cutting out the cancer, it was actually them trying to cut out that person, the parasite and everything else. But nah, man, this thing's crazy. Like I said, I kind of gave away a decent big spoiler there. You know, like where that woman finds out this information, but like how they set it up and how they do it is pretty crazy. Like the action in here, like there's a part in this movie, like there's this one scene in like a police station that reminds me of like John Wick, but with some crazy like killer going through here doing these things with these weird movements. And it's kind of like awesome how they set up the weird movements and stuff, and you'll understand why the character moves around really weird. At the first part of the movie, you're probably lost. Like, man, dude, this kind of like creature, Gabriel, whatever it is, like moves around really weird. But then you find out pretty soon, like later on in the movie, like why the movements are that way, which sets it up and makes it really cool. It wasn't just like something to do to make it look weird in the movie to make it possibly more scary. It was something that's actually like kind of true with the way they set up the movie, right? Like with what's going on. So like the movements and stuff kind of like go along with what they set up, which is pretty cool and I like it. But no, this movie right here is fun. But like I said, it's got some blood. It's got some guts. It's got crazy weirdness. Like you already just heard a little bit of the weirdness. I didn't describe it to you fully. Like I don't want to, because I really kind of just want people's reactions when they go and see this movie. But if you like horror and you don't mind it getting a little weird and a little bloody, like this is a movie for you. Like this movie right here, you could have a lot of fun with. I had a lot of fun with this movie. And look, I know sometimes I'm going to rate movies. You're going to be like, man, how in the world can he rate this movie above some others that he's ranked? Man, I don't care, because this is how it goes. This is my own personal opinion. And I love horror. I love this kind of stuff. This movie to me shocked me with how good it was. I didn't have any expectations going into this movie. So I'm fully going in and giving this movie a full 8. That's right. A full 8. But that's because of how surprised I was at how good the movie was. I didn't have any expectations going in. I love horror. I love the blood and guts. And I love it when it gets a little weird. I mean, that's just who I am. That's the kind of movies that I like. I don't watch some movies all the time. I'll watch, you've seen them. I've reviewed comic book movies, just removed basically like a sci-fi love story and stuff. Like I'll watch almost any style movie out there and give you my opinions on them. But like my thing is like, this is my favorite genre behind like Star Wars, obviously. But this horror is my thing. And so some of these movies that you may not rate as high, I'm going to rate higher than you, because like I love the horror genre. So that's just how it's going to be. But at least, hey, tell me below in the comments, like what you thought about this movie and everything else, because like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I had fun with it. The action in there, like it was weird because like I said, in one moment, especially in this police station, it was like a horror action movie combination, which is kind of weird because you don't see them very often. You see like horror comedies, or even sometimes like a horror with a love story mixed in or something like that, right? But it's very rare that you really get like a horror action movie, because I wouldn't call Jason or Freddy something like that, because there's hardcore like kills and everything in there, but like there's not people out there diving over desks and guns being used in most cases and everything else. It's more of like a scared counselor trying to get away, and he just stalks them down slowly and hacks them up. But yeah, I was really interested in this movie. I really liked a lot of the stuff in it. There is one point I will point out why it didn't get above an 8. There's a part in the movie early on where you find out the story about why this woman's what's going on with this woman, why she's seeing the things she is, like what's really going on with her and stuff like that. There is a spot in this movie where she's trying to hold back a door and it kind of busts open on her. I'm just going to say that part don't really make sense. And that's one of the reasons why I had to give it a little bit of a negative, but that was the only thing, because like the way they said everything else they kind of portray in the movie, like the movements and stuff like I was talking about, they actually do a good job of showing you that. That particular moment is like, man, how in the world is this thing, beating down the door while she's there? And you'll get what I'm saying whenever you go watch the movie. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys out there for real for any of your support, even if it's just like and subscribing to the channel. Let's get over 700. Beyond that, man. Until next time, peace.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. it sound right, boys.